I love to tinka. Today we're playing two of my favorite cards in Vintage, Underworld Breach and Tinker. Let's go check it out. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. I love Tinka, and today we're playing one of my all-time favorite cards in Vintage because of Hunter Sandlin's donation deck. Hunter, I really do appreciate your support, and Hunter's favorite format is Vintage, so that's what we're doing today. The idea is that we're playing a broken card, Underworld Breach, which is banned in Legacy, but not in Vintage, along with a Legacy card of Brain Freeze that allows you to mill 3 cards from your library Storm. And if you're familiar with Underworld Breach, the escape cost of all those cards is 3, so that's quite the combo. So you want to mill into Black Lotus or even Lotus Petal, and then deck yourself with the Brain Freeze. From there, you'll play Brain Freeze enough times to deck your opponent, and you could even finish them off with an Ancestral Recall if you so choose. But that's not all this deck does. You also have Bolas' Citadel to create a large amount of card advantage off of the Tinker. You're also a Hullbreacher plus Wheels deck, so you have Wheel of Fortune and Time Twister to create a ton of card advantage and bury your opponent that way. But the real glue, in my opinion, is Waterlogged Teachings, a tutor that is built into your mana base that finds the single copy of Brain Freeze to allow winning the game with ease. And I think that's the real level up in today's video. In the sideboard, we have a bunch of free counter magic, artifact removal for things like mud or stacks pieces. This is all just dredge heat right here. We have Tabernacle, Pithy Needle, Leyline of the Void, and then our sideboard Tinker targets of Sphinx of the Steelwind and Portal to Phyrexia. But that's the deck. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those down below. I would love to hear from you. But honestly, I'm just excited to play one of my favorite cards today. I love Tinker so much, and I hope that you do too by the end of this video. But I'll see you in the first round. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We're on the draw, and obviously I'm going to keep this hand. We get to stop whatever the opponent's doing and then wheel into a new hand with a bunch of mana floating. Seems very powerful. Mishra's Workshop. We will mental misstep that Soul Ring. Get out of here. They mental misstep back. They have 4 cards. So I think I'm supposed to let this go. Because if I force and then they have a sphere, I would feel very dumb. Crucible of Worlds. I think we'll force this. Just because they can't do much off of 1 land. Exile the Brainstorm. This is where they go like Lotus into something that ends the game. Nope, alright. So we'll go to our turn. They have 3 cards. We draw a basic island. We'll play Black Lotus. Sacrifice for red, and then we'll play a Soul Ring, add some mana, and Wheel of Fortune. That's what I'm talking about. And we hit the TINKAH! Oh, I love Tinker. Alright, let's go. So I could just play the Lotus here. Or I'm sorry, play Breach into Lotus. Alright, so we'll play Breach. Now we'll escape Black Lotus. Sacrifice the Lotus for blue. And now we'll Tinker. Sacrificing Mox Jet? No, Mox Pearl. We'll grab Bolas' Citadel. And we hit a land. So we're probably going to have to pass the turn here. I needed 1 more mana floating to Tinker again. So I guess we'll replay Black Lotus. In hindsight, if I knew what my wheel was going to be, I could have not have played a land. But I think not playing the island would have been very silly. And they did have a Null Rod in their hand. They have 5 mana now. Mystic Forge, that's terrifying. Yeah, you've got it. Mox Pearl. Mox Sapphire. Null Rod. Yep. Not what I wanted to happen, but we can still win this. They play Wasteland, sure. We'll hold priority and play Waterlogged Teachings. Alright, so the top card was not something we could cast. We go to 14. What can I do here? So how we win this game is probably just brain freezing them with enough Storm. I'm at 14 life. Is there any way out of the Null Rod? I don't believe so, not in the main deck. We'll grab Ancestral Recall, play the Thundering Falls, I suppose. We'll put the Mox Ruby to the graveyard. Let's Ancestral Recall targeting myself. We'll play Ponder, Storm 2. Trying to think what the best line is here. I think I'm going to keep the Breacher on top and we'll draw the Pyroblast. Play the Mox Emerald. And now we'll pass the turn. And I can flash in the Hullbreacher if they try to draw cards with like a Coveted Jewel or something. I don't think that this is Jewel Shops. I would like to state that. But you never know if somebody's just like playing a Coveted Jewel for whatever personal reasons. They have an Automaton. They destroy my Thundering Falls. End step will flash in the Hullbreacher. I go to 10. And now we're going to draw Underworld Breach. I guess we'll play Scalding Tarn. Saga is my top card, but they have... Oh no, they don't have a Wasteland. So I suppose I could try to beat them with the Saga and just go to cleanup here. Alright, we'll do that. Okay. Stonecoil Serpent. And another Patchwork Automaton. Baracus. Are you going to trade your Patchwork for a Hullbreacher? I'll block. That seems like a good trade for me. Okay, they have 4 cards left in their hand. Dig Through Time. Do I really want to pay 8 life to Dig Through Time? I don't think so. Let's fetch down to 9. We'll grab Volcanic Island. Another Hullbreacher will put me to 6. I don't think we want to play this Vexing Bauble. It has a lot of non-synergy with my Bolas' Citadel. We will pass the turn. Golos. Okay, so now they can search their deck for a land. The land enters tapped, so we can at least make 1 construct token here. They find Inventor's Fair. Okay. They find their owners a Saga. Yeah, I don't think we're winning this anymore. And they want to trade again. I'm fine with this. Block. Well, like, we would need a string of very good draws to win this. Like, I need to find Time Walk. That's a card we're interested in. Once again, we find Dig Through Time that we don't want. So I could fetch down to 5. And pull out the last Underground Sea. We'll have to do that here. We'll Ponder down to 4. I don't want any of those cards. We'll shuffle. Mana Crypt seems very dangerous. I believe I'm supposed to pass here. And with the Misty having no fetchables left, I'm going to discard it. I know that it's a way to shuffle my library. I just don't think that matters here. So now their Saga will become larger than mine. Well, their constructs will be, I should say. And they have Crucible of Worlds. Alright, let's just save some time here. Why is that so small? There we go. Alright, so we lost game number 1. We had no outs to a resolved Null Rod. I think that was the big issue here. We'll change this back to pile view. Okay, so we probably want Force of Negation, Hurkyl's Recall, Abrade. We did see Stonecoil Serpent. I usually like bringing in the big beater versus stacks, but the fact that it's blanked by Stonecoil Serpent I don't love. But I wonder if it's better than Citadel anyway. Or maybe you keep in both, I'm not so sure. I don't hate the trap. So what don't I like? Probably the Vexing Bauble isn't great here. You could bring in Needle just for Wasteland or Strip Mine. I'm not sure that this is a great Hullbreacher matchup, so you could board out all of the wheel package. And that brings you down to 61. You probably don't need Pyroblast. Those can get out of the deck. And now you're at 59. And there's still a Dig Through Time hiding off in the corner. Probably shrink this a little bit. So this is also not a matchup where Gitaxian Probe is all that great, or Mental Misstep. That said, I do think that those cards are probably better than extra copies of Needle. Like, I think bringing in 1 Needle is probably okay. The question is, do we really want 2? I'm going to submit this. I'm sure some vintage expert will have a different opinion, but I'm the one clicking, so. Deal. Interesting. This hand is good against all of their wastelands, but it doesn't do anything inherently broken. This seems like a trap hand to me. I'm going to send it back. This hand is not a trap. We will keep. We can put Mystical Tutor on the bottom. We're going to play Ponder here, looking for another artifact for Tinker. It resolves. We did not find any mana. We should shuffle this. Brain Freeze, not a very good draw. We'll play the Mox Ruby and pass. Mishra's Workshop. Null Rod. I will Force of Negation exile Brain Freeze, which means that our Underworld Breaches will no longer be that effective. But I'm trying to win this game using Bolas' Citadel, so let's draw a mana here. Or we could draw into the worst possible draw. Alright, Brainstorm. We did not find any mana. Okay. What is the plan? So I have to put another card back, and then we probably have to redraw a card. So if we have to redraw a card, I think it's actually better to pitch Mystical Tutor than Merchant Scroll. So next turn I'll just Merchant Scroll. We can just hide the Tinker on top, I guess. Another Mishra's Workshop. Patchwork Automaton, you've got it. Another Null Rod. I feel pressured here to Force of Will. We'll get rid of Mystical Tutor. They have 2 mana floating, 4 cards in hand. We'll draw, it's the Tinker we know about. And now we'll Merchant Scroll. I guess I could get the Teachings and just play it as a land. We'll do that. Guarantees me my land for next turn. But now they have a turn where they can go unchecked with at least 6 mana, which is, you know, not good for me. I just hope they play like Golos Pass. That would be ideal. Mystic Forge floating 2. That is not what I wanted to see here. Yeah, so I will hit F6 and they get to do their thing. They have 2 mana floating. And they hit Black Lotus. No! That was not good. Chalice of the Void on 0. They play their land for turn. Crucible of Worlds. And now they're attacking for 6. I'll go to 13. That was a decent draw. We'll play Tinker, sacrificing Mox Ruby. So I could get the Sphinx of the Steel Wind, but I'm not sure that's going to be good enough. I think we just have to grab the Citadel and pray. We will hold priority on this Demonic Tutor. The top card was not something we wanted. What to do. I exiled the Mystical Tutor, which would have been a very good find. I mean, I could grab Vampiric Tutor and hope that I hit like a fetch land so that I could go grab Underground Sea, but I'm not sure if that's actually good. I could try to go grab Tolarian Academy and hope to spike a 1 mana value artifact, which would have to be like Soul Ring or Top or Needle, because that would allow me to Hurkyl's Recall and then, you know, do a bit more. But I would need another artifact that isn't Bolas' Citadel. This is a tough decision. I think it's Academy? I don't know. And I was punished for not getting Vampiric Tutor. We'll play Misty Rainforest. The Waterlogged Teachings here could get Vampiric Tutor. So I would go to 7. Vampiric Tutor down to 5. With the fetch land, I'd be at 4. Play the Abrade. I'd be at 2. I couldn't do anything. So I could go get Time Walk, and then maybe that's the line. So we'll hold priority on Waterlogged Teachings. We'll fetch. We didn't want the top card. Do you have Mindbreak in your hand? Is that what this pause is? Go grab Underground Sea. Waterlogged Teachings. So Vampiric Tutor would put me to 4. Time Walk would put me to 2. And then we would have to win off 2 life. Or I could just find Abrade. Okay, so we will Abrade to destroy target artifact on Chalice of the Void. Ancestral Recall's the top card, pretty lucky. Ancestral targeting myself. This will put me to 3. We'll play Mox Pearl. Play Soul Ring. So there's nothing I can Vampiric Tutor for that's good here. I believe we have to pass. They exiled their top card with Mystic Forge, which was a wasteland when they have Crucible of Worlds. A little surprising there. Their saga will go to the 2nd chapter. They're now in combat. We will Hurkyl's Recall. Okay. So I cannot do anything else this turn. Okay. So they have Mystic Forge. They have Black Lotus in hand. They have 3 mana floating. So they have a total of 6 mana. We just need them to hit lands again off of their Mystic Forge. Sphere of Resistance. That's not good for me. They decided to play Soul Ring after. So that way it costs 2. Me winning this game is not looking good with the Brain Freeze exiled. Trinisphere. Okay, yeah. Lovely. Deck Faden that I cannot play because I only have 3 life. Play Tolarian Academy. And I think we'll pass here. So the deck Faden could be my win condition this game. I'm not sure that it is, but it could be. Alternatively, I can hold open Force of Negation and Waterlog Teachings for the end step. They grab a Soul Guide Lantern. I don't think we care about that. Sure. That is the Patchwork Automaton. Crucible of Worlds. We should counterspell this. So that's 3, 4 mana. We will hardcast Force of Negation on the Crucible. And I still have 5 mana, 2 Waterlog Teachings. If that's even something we want to do. I could also just draw the deck Faden, play it, and take the Patchwork. Alright, so I'm going to spend 3 mana on this Mox Jet because it makes my Tolarian Academy better. And then I will spend 4 mana on... Oh no, I have to spend 2 on the Ward. So I'm better off just tapping the Academy. We'll play deck Faden. And then we will gain control of the Patchwork Automaton. The Ward happens. We'll pay the 2. Pass the turn. Okay, so they have free reign this turn. I cannot cast anything due to Trinisphere. Another Patchwork Automaton. They exiled Sphere of Resistance to the Mystic Forge. They play a Mox Jet. So now their Automaton will be 3 power. In my upkeep, I could Vampiric Tutor here. I would go to 1. I think that's better than drawing this Force of Will. How much would Sphinx cost? This taps for 4. I have 8. It's an 8 mana value creature, but there is a Sphere of Resistance in play, so I'm 1 mana short. Wait, no, Academy taps for 5. So I have 9. We'll grab Sphinx. Draw it. Tap. Hopefully I'm not wrong about this. Sphinx of the Steelwind. This triggers the Patchwork. Here we go. Trying to turn a corner. We'll plus the deck Faden, target me. Discard Mana Crypt and the Sensi's Divining Top. Pass the turn. Disruptor Flute. Spicy. They name deck Faden. In their upkeep, they use the Mystic Forge to exile a Mishra's Workshop. Am I going to crawl my way out of this? I hope so. Karn the Great Creator. Okay, well, I do have a Sphinx of the Steelwind in play. They can go grab a Mycosynth Lattice here. But I can kill the Karn in the air. They grab Wormcoil Engine. I mean, my Sphinx still kills the Karn. We'll play Urza Saga as my land for the turn. Go to combat. We'll attack Karn the Great Piece of Trash. Alright, so that unlocks all of our artifacts. We'll tap the Tolarian Academy. Tap Soul Ring. We'll play Waterlog Teachings as a spell. This will shuffle our library. And I can go grab a Braid. And a Braid will allow me to destroy the Disruptor Flute. And then I can take Wormcoil Engine. And now I'll take the Wormcoil. Here we go. Pass the turn. Okay. Downside, there's 7 minutes on the clock. So assuming I win this, I'm going to have to play very quickly for game 3. Alright, and we did win. Anything that I would like to change? I don't believe so. I mean, the other needle is good. It's just, what is it, like, am I taking out the dig through time for it and reducing my blue count for Force of Negation or Force of Will? I don't know if that's a change I'd like to make. I'm going to resubmit. This has been a good match so far, though. I mean, this hand is interesting. We have Mindbreak Trap. I'm going to try it. They've taken a mulligan to 5. So this Mindbreak Trap just got a little bit worse. Mox Pearl. Mishra's Workshop. Null Rod resolves. That one doesn't. Mindbreak Trap you. Alright, they have 1 card left in their hand. We'll play Gitaxian Probe. Let's see what it is. Stonecoil Serpent. We draw Black Lotus that I can't use. Let's play Thundering Falls. Might as well get our Surveil action on. I would like a Ponder. We can play out the Mox Sapphire. Probably want the Black Lotus in play too. It's better in play than in my hand. We'll pass. Stonecoil Serpent. It is. So we don't know the card in their hand. We'll draw Ponder. We'll play it. These are all great. We will keep. Play the Misty. Pass the turn. So I believe I have a win next turn. Ancient Tomb. They have 1 card left. We'll take 3. I think we'll fetch away the Mystical Teachings. It just doesn't do me much good. Hurkyl's Recall. I mean, I was going to Abrade, but I could also Hurkyl's. Maybe we'll still Abrade. I think the Abrade is probably better. because they don't get to recast their Stone Coil even larger. We'll destroy the Null Rod. We'll play Underworld Breach. Sacrifice the Lotus for 3 blue. And now we'll replay Black Lotus. Exile the Abrade. Now we'll sacrifice the Lotus. Cast Waterlog Teachings for Brain Freeze. And this is really where this card shines. Alright, Magic Online. I'm trying to win a match here. Let's go. It's not letting me do anything. Okay. Nope. If I lose this, I'm going to be upset. Alright, it's finally letting us resolve our spell. We'll grab Brain Freeze. Target myself. Okay. And our opponent concedes the match. We got there. That was a nail biter. Pretty exciting. Alright, we're 1-0 to start off this vintage league. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match number 2, we're on the draw. Obviously, I'm going to keep this broken hand. We have Force of Will, we have Vampiric Tutor to go grab a Tinker. There's a lot that could go right with this hand. Our opponent leads on Mana Crypt, Mishra's Workshop. We'll take Key. Yeah, so that makes a mana with the Mana Crypt. They will go back up to 5 mana. Really wish we were on the play this game. And they've decided to just pass the turn instead. Sure. We rip Tinker. Wow! Okay, so this is turn 1 Tinker with Forcible backup and then Vampiric Tutor to go get Sensi's Divining Top. Holy moly. So we're probably going to win this game if I had to take a wild guess. And the Voltaic Key tells me that I believe our opponent is actually on Jewel Shops and not a stacks-based prison deck like we saw in match 1. And now we'll fetch down to 19. We'll grab an island, play Tinker, grab Bolas' Citadel, Vampiric Tutor. We'll go grab Sensi's Divining Top. We'll play the top. Now we're at 16. Mox Sapphire. Let's play Mystical Tutor. We'll go grab Time Walk, and our opponent concedes. Easy game. Nice. Alright, so we want the Force of Negations, the Mindbreak Trap. You might even want a Braid versus Jewel Shops. I do believe you want Needle for the One Ring. What don't we want? I don't think Jewel Shops is a good Vexing Bauble matchup, so we'll get rid of that. It's an incredibly good Hullbreacher matchup if they are on Jewel Shops. So I'm sort of at a loss here on when I'm supposed to sideboard out. Like, you could probably take out the Mental Misstep. And I mean, I'm dating myself here, but when Alex McKinley and I were working on this deck in 2021, when Alex won Eternal Weekend, we were often boarding out an off-color Mox. So I will board out Mox Emerald here. Yeah, there's just not enough cards to take out. I mean, in theory, you could take out the Underworld Breach package, but then how do we win? I think that's like kind of just not what I want to be doing. I mean, I could take out a bunch of Ponders, but then is my blue count too low when I'm bringing in all these Force of Negations? Let's do a quick blue count check. No, my blue count's fine. 25 blue cards? That's more than enough. Alright, we'll try this. We will keep. Mana Crypt is back. Mox Pearl. Otawara, it is in fact Jewel Shops. I will allow the One Ring to resolve because we have the Needle. Something I'm hoping for here is that between Mana Crypt and the One Ring, they just kind of, you know, win the game for me. Needle on the stack. They Force of Will, exiling Phyrexian Metamorph. I will Force of Will back, exiling Time Walk. Needle. We will name the One Ring. They have 2 cards. Mana Crypt and then the One Ring trigger. They lose the flip there, and then they'll lose 1 life to the One Ring. And it looks like they have Tinker. Insane. So this gets them a coveted jewel. Oh, they grab Time Vault. And they're... Ooh, this is risky, because I have the Abrade. We'll play Volcanic Island. I believe we're supposed to destroy the Time Vault. Technically, it's better here to destroy the key, but their deck has a bunch of keys in it, and I say that it's technically better because the Mana Crypt will make a mana with the Voltaic Key, and if they get up to 6, they can play a Coveted Jewel from their hand. That is a fear. But their deck has so many keys in it that if I pass here and they have another key, I lose the game. The One Ring is back. They have Indestructible. Waterlogged Teachings. We'll grab another Volcanic. We'll play Dak Faden. They have one card. I mean, the ring is shut off, so the fear would be like an Otawara for the One Ring. I think I'm going to just take their Mox Pearl. We'll pass the turn. Trinisphere, sure. Fine by me. Let's plus Dak Faden targeting me. Get rid of Citadel and Mox Ruby. We'll play the Misty, pass the turn. They lose the Mana Crypt flip, so now they're at 12. Ancient Tomb, they have one card in their hand. Is their last card a Coveted Jewel? It is, so now they'll draw 3. End step. Let's Waterlog Teachings. I did not bring in Hurkyl's Recall. I mean, I could just grab Hullbreacher. Yeah, let's grab Hullbreacher. Gain control of the Coveted Jewel. Goodbye, Dak Faden. I'll try to bring you back later. So we'll switch phases. So I can spend 3 mana to play Mana Crypt here and then play the Hullbreacher. And then next turn I can Underworld Breach into Dak Faden. And admittedly, I got a little ahead of myself there. I was so excited about grabbing Hullbreacher that I forgot that I was supposed to fetch for my Surveil land last turn. Tolarian Academy. 9 mana. Talon Gates? What? That's spicy. So they're going to get rid of my Hullbreacher. Paradoxical Outcome. I might have just lost. I've never seen this out of this deck before. Okay. I might be dead. Good to know. They play a Voltaic Key. There's still 5 cards in their hand. We know one of which is a One Ring, but they drew into another Paradoxical Outcome. I'm probably dead. Mox Ruby, Black Lotus. Mana Crypt is back. So we know about the One Ring and Trinisphere. They have a Voltaic Key, Mana Vault, Ancestral Recall, Soul Ring, Mox Emerald. I mean, they might fizzle here. I'm not going to concede. Burn the Great Piece of Trash. Yep. They probably don't concede now. Or they don't fizzle now. And they could still play the One Ring for protection. They choose Argentum Masticore. Voltaic Key. They play the Masticore, which has protection from multicolored. So I guess one way I could win this is if they somehow don't have a force in their hand, but that seems pretty unlikely. We'll grab Thundering Falls. Do I want another Hullbreacher? I don't think I do. We'll put that to the graveyard. Mana Crypt. We won the flip. Let's play Underworld Breach. They do have a force, so they'll go to 4. Okay, so how we win this? They're at 4 life. They have a Mana Crypt. Anything is possible. They won the Mana Crypt flip. So now they can kill my Hullbreacher. And they do. They're discarding Trinisphere. They're making a bunch of mana with Tolarian Academy. They attack. They get back their Coveted Jewel. They grab Grafdigger's Cage, trying to shut off another Underworld Breach. They play another Coveted Jewel. Worm Coil. Okay, I'm dead to the Worm Coil. We can go to the next game. Alright. I think we do want the Mental Misstep. I think I'm less excited about the Twister effects, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll take out the Dig. It just doesn't seem like this is a long... Dig is really good in long grindy games, which is sort of what that game was, except that there's so much... you have to have so much agency, and I didn't feel like I had that. We'll try this. On the play for game 3. No black mana, but I think we're going to keep. Play Thundering Falls. We don't need a Soul Ring. We'll play out Mox Ruby past the turn. Mox Sapphire. Let's counter that Mana Vault. There's a Saga. And a key. They have 4 cards left. Another Force of Will. I would have loved a black mana there, because we could have gotten Tinker with the Vampiric Tutor and untapped, played Tinker with Force of Will back up. Ancient Tomb. So they have 4 mana. They might be on the Saga beatdown game. Mox Sapphire. That allows me to hardcast Force of Negation. But that doesn't matter if I'm just dead to a couple large constructs. Okay. And I did not bring in Hurkyl's Recall. I mean, my experience with these sort of decks, you're not supposed to bring in Hurkyl's Recall in this matchup. but it's just been like 2 weird games in a row where it like might have been okay. And they could be representing lethal next turn, so they attack for 5. Any artifact this turn could kill me. They grab a Mana Crypt. Because another artifact this turn makes the construct 6 power. I go to 12. Next turn they attack for 12 and I lose. Time Walk. We will play Force of Negation. They Force of Will. I will Force of Negation again, exiling Force of Will. Okay, we need a good draw here, else I'm afraid that we lose. Where's the Saga? So strong. Underworld Breach. Does not help me. I think we just lost. I mean, I guess I could draw Tinker next turn or Black Lotus. Black Lotus actually doesn't do anything for me. 5 mana. And now they can play Coveted Jewel. Yep. Okay, so we lose match number 2. Our deck did not come through in the post-board games. Unfortunate. We are now 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and Mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round number 3, we're back at it. We're on the draw, so this hand is interesting. You don't have a blue source for your Time Twister, but I do think that this is probably a keep. I could be wrong, but it just seems like having the broken mana is what we want. Mishra's Workshop. Crucible of Worlds. Sure. We will draw for turn, and there's our blue mana. Play the Mox Jet, the Mox Pearl, Soul Ring, and now we'll fetch. Go grab that basic island. Let's do the twist. Into TINKAH. Okay. We'll play Tinker, sacrifice the Mox Pearl. Go grab Bolas' Citadel. And unfortunately, we hit a land. They play Mox Jet, Mox Emerald, 5 mana, Golos. I do not care. They find Inventor's Fair. They play an Ancient Tomb. Stonecoil Serpent. Yep. Okay, I believe we've won this one. We'll hold priority on Vampiric Tutor. Okay. Let's go grab Underworld Breach. We'll play Underworld Breach down to 11. Ancestral Recall down to 10. We'll play Black Lotus. Tap the Mana Crypt. We'll use the Lotus for blue. We'll play Time Walk because I can. And let's Ancestral Recall, targeting myself. Get rid of Twister, Tinker, Time Walk. We'll play Lotus Petal. Let's play Ponder. We'll take the Force of Will. Play Waterlogged Teachings. Now we can go grab Brain Freeze. Sacrifice the Petal for a blue. We'll Brain Freeze them for 30. And the opponent concedes. Nice. Okay, so we do want the Hurkyl's Recall. This is the same matchup as the first round. Probably get rid of the Dig Through Time. We don't need Pyroblast. We don't need the Hullbreachers or the Twister or the Wheel of Fortune. And then 1 Needle. Probably don't want the Bobble either. So maybe we're supposed to have both Needles. And I think I left in the Dig Through Time last time. Could also argue that like Mental Misstep isn't good, but it stops Grafdigger's Cage or like Soul Ring. I think I'm down to try this. We will keep. They lead off with a Mox Sapphire, Wasteland, Sphere of Resistance. We will force exiling Force of Will. I think I want to keep the Ponder. Underworld Breach. I think we'll just play Ponder here and then see what our options are. Let's shuffle these. A Braid. We'll play out Black Lotus, play out the Mox Pearl, pass the turn. Mox Emerald, Thorn of Amethyst, and another Wasteland. That's not very kind. Demonic Tutor. So I'm just trying to think here. We could theoretically sack Lotus for 3 red, play Breach, play Thundering Falls, surveil whatever card it is, replay the Black Lotus, a Braid, and then we'd have 2 mana open, but I don't have enough resources to win. So we'll play Thundering Falls, get rid of Bolas' Citadel, pass the turn. But you also actually don't need to answer Thorn of Namnethys to win. You can actually win through it. It's just my graveyard isn't full enough to do so. 4 mana for a Nettle Cyst. I don't care about that at all. Alright, do we try to win here? So the Lotus Petal's free. We'll play that. Also increases our storm count. So Lotus for Breach. That's in break even. I guess I should just start with the Abrade. Hold on. So Lotus, Abrade the Thorn, play Breach. Yeah, this works. We'll Abrade, destroy the Thorn, Breach, play Lotus. And now we'll sacrifice the Lotus for black, Demonic Tutor, go grab Brain Freeze, target ourselves. That's all she wrote. And the opponent concedes the match. Okay, we are now 2-1. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Turn 1 win. Turn 1 win. Turn 1 win. We're going to keep. We're on the draw again. We have not won a whole lot of die rolls this league, but hopefully our opponent does something we don't care about, and then all of our spells resolve, which just, you know, that always happens in Vintage, right? Right? Not so often, but we're going to try it out anyway. Maybe I'll get lucky. I'll draw a Force of Will, and then I can exile this Dig Through Time or something. Our opponent has kept 7. Misty Rainforest, Mox Jet. Actually, hold on. Is this a turn 1 win? They play Time Walk, that's fine. So we can play Breach off of Volcanic Sapphire, Merchant Scroll off of the Lotus. We're actually a mana short of a turn 1 win. Maybe I should have examined it a little more closely. I probably still would have kept, but it's just not the turn 1 win I thought it was. Sheesh. And now they get to go get Ancestral Recall? Here it is. You got it. 3 permanent mana sources in play, 6 cards in hand. Black Lotus, Deathray Shaman, 4 cards left. Collector Roof. So now my hand is much worse. We'll play Underground Sea, pass the turn. Quite the start for the opponent here. So there is one thing I don't like about this deck list. My previous list that I had in my account before I updated it to, you know, for today's league, I looked at more modern lists or more recent lists, then I made adjustments. Nobody was playing main deck Lightning Bolt anymore, which I was playing for Collector Oof and Archon of Emeria, but nobody plays it. So I ended up cutting it, and I also cut the Repeal, which would have won. I think it was match 1 where we were stuck, and, you know, it stinks, but, like, Repeal gets you out of this, Lightning Bolt gets you out of this, and I think we're just cold to a main deck Collector Oof. Let's play Merchant Scroll. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything to answer this Collector Oof. We'll grab Force of Will. Pass the turn. They have 3 cards remaining. Okay, I'm at 15. We draw Waterlogged Teachings. Let's try Ancestral Recall. Mental Misstep. I will Force of Will, exiling the Waterlogged Teachings. They still have 2 cards. They're going to hardcast Force of Will. Brutal. Okay, my Ancestral Recall will be countered. We'll play Time Walk. So I could either dig through time here, or I could Underworld Breach Ancestral. I mean, the Hullbreacher is not bad. I think I'm going to Underworld Breach. Because if I draw into a fetch land, I might be able to Ancestral Recall multiple times. I could be wrong. Target myself. No, I'm actually short. So maybe I was living in Fantasyland. The Saga's good. We'll play Saga. Pass the turn. Their last card in hand is Treasure Cruise. No way. Like, I could have played the Hullbreacher or left mana open for Hullbreacher. I didn't feel like that was a good move, and now I'm punished. So they'll attack with Collector Oof. We will go to 12. They did not draw a Wasteland to stop my Saga. We'll play the Black Lotus. Play Lotus Petal. Thundering Falls. Get rid of the Vampiric Tutor. We don't want that. We'll pass. End step, they eat my Ancestral Recall. I go to 10. I'm worried about this Deathrite killing me before I can turn a corner. And they do not attack this time. End step, we will activate the Saga to create a construct. And now we'll draw. Demonic Tutor. Let's make another construct. They're going to exile a card here. Sure. Is it crazy to grab Vexing Bobble? Kind of don't think it is. Like, I don't have any forces. Let's attack for 5. And now I will Demonic Tutor. They have Spell Pierce. Okay. We will pass the turn. They have land number 5. They're at 9. They play Mox Emerald right into my Vexing Bobble. So they probably want... Ooh, no, it was a mistake. Or they have a Dig Through Time in their hand. Tolarian Academy. We'll play the Academy. Let's go to combat. Swing, swing. They block with the Collector Roof. So they'll take 5 here. And we'll pass. So if they try to eat a card out of my graveyard, I could delve it away. So they should eat one out of their own. And misplay by the opponent, in my opinion. We'll Dig Through Time in response. So we've exiled the Demonic Tutor from the game. They knew about the Dig Through Time. They saw it with Gitaxian Probe. And we'll just flash in the Hullbreacher now because I can. So the Dig Through Time will be countered. Sweet. Playing Fair Magic got us there. I mean, this is exactly what happened to us the round we lost, where I just happened to have found the one saga, and then that one saga took over the game. And I felt like if we didn't have the one saga, we likely lost that. We'll bring in a Braid. Sphinx of the Steelwind is incredible in this matchup. I'm not in love with Force of Negation. I think we could probably get rid of that. Needle is actually okay because it stops Oko Thief of Crowns. It stops Beseiju if you already have the Sphinx of the Steelwind in play. It's just pretty good. So we're at 64. A lot of people board out Bolas' Citadel due to Force of Vigor. Like, I think that's reasonable. What else could we do? Could shave a Mox versus the Collector Oof deck, which would be Mox Emerald when you have Sphinx of the Steelwind in your deck. Could also look at maybe trimming some of this. Like, 9 3-mana value cards is a lot. Like, maybe we just take out the Twister effects. Maybe I want the Mox Emerald. Well, I just realized I had a Braid in the wrong pile. Could take out the Mystical. Let's try this. Sideboarding is very difficult. Well, this is a hand. I think we'll keep. I don't know how good this is versus the deck with Wasteland and Strip Mine and Force of Vigor and all that other stuff. Misty's good. Let's fetch. Grab our... Actually, I think I want the Volcanic. We'll play Lotus Petal. Pithing Needle. We're going to name Wasteland. Pass the turn. And they have Strip Mine. Classic. Into Collector Roof. Yep. Okay. So I could take my chance trying to resolve a Braid right now. Here's the situation we're in. I could play Saga into Vexing Bobble, but if they destroy my Volcanic Island, this Collector Roof has me locked out. Or I could just try to jam the Braid. But if they force it, I lose. I could also just try to Time Walk, which might be the safest line. We'll try to Time Walk. And they did have a force. Okay. Ancestral Recall. This was a very good hand for them. Yikes. They attack with the Collector Oof. They destroy the Urza Saga after losing it to it last game. That makes sense. Let's play Ponder, looking for another land. No luck, we will shuffle. We'll hold the Mox Jet for now. Pass the turn. They fetch with Polluted Delta for a Bayou. Leovold. Yeah. So I could Pyroblast the Leovold, assuming that it resolves. Like, we just need more mana. Like, that is our biggest chokehold right now, is just mana. And I'm drawing Moxen, which I can't use due to the Collector Roof. Play a Vexing Bobble. It resolves. We will pass. Treasure Cruise. Yeah, I'm just getting buried. I go to 10. We finally draw another land. I don't expect this Braid to resolve, but I'm going to try. Like, we saw Spell Piercing game 1. We'll try to Braid Collector Roof. They draw a card off Leovold. And there it is. Okay, we can go to the next one. I would just like to resubmit. Alright, game 3 on the play. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously very powerful. We will keep Flooded Strand. We will fetch. Grab a basic. We'll play Mox Pearl. The Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. And then in their upkeep, we'll play the Ancestral. This way, Force of Negation can't counter it. Ancestral Recall. They have Force of Will. Exiling Force of Negation. I will Force of Will back. Looks like my counter spell won, and now Ancestral. Ancestral Recall resolves, we draw Pyroblast, Polluted Delta, and Ponder. So they have 6 cards, including this Misty Rainforest, Mox Emerald, Deathrite Shaman. Okay. We draw Thundering Falls. Let's play the Needle. We'll name Deathrite Shaman. This will shut off. I believe the first ability is not a mana ability, but I could be wrong. So I believe it shuts off all 3. If not, it at least gets the last 2. I think that this is a trap. We should not keep this. We will shuffle. Hullbreacher. So I'm at least a mana short of playing that. So instead I'll just play the Thundering Falls. Get rid of the Force of Will. And pass. They fetch with Misty Rainforest. They go to combat. We'll take 1 down to 17. Psychic Frog. I do have Pyroblast for that. Mox Ruby. We will pass the turn. We'll flash in Hullbreacher. So we'll take 1 off the Psychic Frog. We'll get a treasure. They won't actually draw a card due to the Hullbreacher. So mana is not a bottleneck for us. We just need things to do. We draw another Mox Sapphire. Attack with the Hullbreacher. They go to 14. We'll pass. They play Tropical Island. And now they swing for 2. We'll go to 14. We'll get another treasure. Like, we have so much mana. I just need something. We draw another Mana Crypt. Well, it's more mana, but we draw Mana Crypt. Attack for 3. They're at 11. We're at 14. They have 4 cards in hand. They discarded another Deathrite Shaman. So now they're trading 3 for 3 each turn. So I will also fall to 11. I get another treasure. We draw Volcanic Island. Attack for 3. They go to 8. I will pass. We need like a brainstorm. Assassin's Trophy. That's not good. We already have our basic in play too. They have 3 cards remaining. Leaving back the Deathrite. So maybe I was wrong about the activation. And I probably was supposed to kill the Deathrite sooner. I'm sorry, kill the Frog sooner because now they're going to draw a card. Maybe I'm supposed to just use this Pyroblast to try to protect instead of caring about Frog. I'm not sure. But in order for it to protect, I have to draw something. Another Hullbreacher. We will pass. No blocks on the Frog. I will go to 7. They draw again. Wait, I was supposed to flash on a Hullbreacher! Bryant, you are so dumb. I even thought that, and then I started talking, and I clicked right through. That was not good. That was so bad. That was so bad. Collector Roof will resolve. We finally draw something. Let's play the Volcanic. Dig Through Time. They have 4 cards in their hand. They Force of Negation. I will Pyroblast. Dig Through Time. They Force of Vigor and Response. So this will mean that Deathrite is now active. And their last card in hand was Spell Pierce. Cool. So they used their entire hand, which means that the draw I let them have off of the Psychic Frog mattered. Pass. Block the Frog. Maybe, I don't even know what I'm doing. That was a terrible block too. I'm just so flustered right now that I'm not playing well. Like I just threw this game. And I can't cast this due to the Collector Roof. Am I dead on board? So, end step, they activate, untap, swing out. Yeah, I am dead on board. I don't know if the block there mattered, if I'm being completely honest, because next turn they could just jump the Frog too. But we lost. I made a bad no casting of the Hullbreacher that ended up costing me when we drew Dig. And then a play bad block there, so I don't know. And it won't let me see the other cards for what we would have drawn off Dig. I'm sorry, Hunter. I didn't play that well this round. We are now 2-2 with 1 match left to go. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? Alright, time for the 5th and final match. I will try to play a little bit better this round. Alright, so Ponder, Breacher. Like, this hand's weird. So you have a whole bunch of cards that are good with other halves. So you have Petal Breach, so you're missing Brain Freeze, but also mana. Hullbreacher has nothing it does well with this hand. And then The top isn't amazing because it takes a lot of mana in order for it to be good, and we're light on mana. You also don't have a way to tinker. Like, this could be a keep, but I feel like it's just really uncomfortable. Like, it doesn't do anything well. I'm going to mulligan. This is probably fine. We'll keep and get rid of Mystical Tutor. Actually, is the Mystical better than the Dig? Probably. I mean, whatever card it is probably gets exiled to this Force of Negation, but just in case, we'll keep this. Because the Mystical Tutor could be a wheel for the Hullbreacher. Ancient Tomb, Soul Ring, Lotus Petal, Sowing Mycospawn. Sure, yeah, why not? Oh, geez. Yep, so now we're drawing the, whatever it's called, the Waterlogged Teachings. We'll play that as our land, pass. So we're facing Vintage Eldrazi. It's not typically a deck like it is in Legacy. If you're going to play a aggro prison tempo deck in Vintage, Mono White Initiative is usually the best thing. We draw a complete dud here with the Pyroblast. We'll play the Mox Emerald, pass the turn. We get to Hullbreacher here and stop them from drawing a card. This is actually insane because now I get the treasure that allows me to Mystical Tutor for a wheel. That's exactly what we needed to happen. Urza Saga, Mox Sapphire, 2 cards remain. No blocks on the Sowing Mycospawn. End step, we will Mystical Tutor. Go grab Time Twister. We just have to hope there's not a second copy of Kozilek's Command. Unfortunately, I have to tap the Tolarian Academy when we're about to get a ton of treasures, but we'll have to make do. Play the Mox Pearl. We will Merchant Scroll. Go grab Ancestral Recall. Vampiric Tutor. Go grab Wheel of Fortune. And the opponent concedes. Sweet. Alright. Going into game 2 against Eldrazi, we probably want the Sphinx, Portal to Phyrexia, get rid of the Bolas Citadel. We'd like a Braid, Hurkyl's Recall. I don't know how good Force of Negation is. Get rid of the Dig Through Time. We don't need Pyroblast. We don't need Vexing Bauble. The question is, do you want Force of Negation? And I don't know the answer to that. Let's try a game without it. So instead of bringing in any, we're going to board out the one we have. This seems fine. Ancient Tomb into Null Rod. I think I'm actually going to let this go. Like, we just have the Mox Jet right now. I could always answer this later. We draw another Force of Will. We will fetch, if it will ever let me. Alright, Flooded Strand at least made it to the table. Let's see if it will let me search. Grab the basic island. Play Ponder. We like all of these. Keep. I should have kept the Abrade on top. That's my bad. Or, I should have drawn a land and kept a Braid on top. So if they, like, had Cavern of Souls plus, like, a Spirit Guide here that I couldn't counterspell, we'd still have the Braid on top. Like, it's a little silly, but it's the proper thing to do. And here's Cavern of Souls. Glaring Fleshraker that cannot be countered. We'll play the Flooded Strand, pass the turn. Another Glaring Fleshraker, that is trouble. So I go to 17, they can attack. They still have 3 cards in their hand here. We will fetch down to 14. Grab Volcanic. Let's get rid of that Null Rod. Goodbye. Brain Freeze. We'll play Ponder. So I could take Time Walk here and play it off of the Mox Jet. We'd want to surveil away the Teachings. So we'll play Thundering Falls. Get rid of the Teachings. Play the Mox Jet. Play Time Walk. And now we can Wheel of Fortune next turn with 2 open mana. Let's fetch now just to thin. Like, you could try to fetch after, but I think that's just a mistake. And we'll attempt a Wheel of Fortune. So ideally, Underworld Breach would be an amazing find here because the Brain Freeze is already in the graveyard, but we did not find it. So if we somehow live through this turn, we might be able to do something, but I just gave them 7 cards when they have 2 Glaring Fleshrakers in play. I don't love our odds. Yeah, I think we're probably dead. So I could Hurkyl's Recall myself and go up to 4 mana to play Teachings, but I don't know what that does for me. It seems really silly to just, like, play Teachings and pass. Oh, we're super dead. Yep. Okay, I go to 11. Now I'm at 9. They still can attack for 4, so they only have to cast a few spells here. Lotus Petal. Yep. Alright, I'm good to go to the next one. Let's try that again. On the play. Sure. We'll lead on Mox Sapphire, and then we'll play Ponder off of it. Ponder finds Force of Will, Wheel, and a Hullbreacher. We love this. Alright, so we'll put the Force on top to cast it if we need to. Play Flooded Strand. So next turn I can Hullbreacher, turn after that I can Wheel. Eldrazi Temple, Mox Jet, Null Rod. I'm going to allow that to happen. If I have a Braid, it's fine. We'll play the Saga, pass the turn. Eldrazi Temple, Grafdigger's Cage, that will resolve. And Step will fetch. Grab Volcanic Island. We will destroy Null Rod. Saga goes to the second chapter. Pass. Mox Sapphire, so they have a total of 6 mana here. And they're leaving open Kozilek's Command, and I don't want to do that into... I don't want to Hullbreacher into it. So I think instead I'm going to make Constructs. And if they decide now to Kozilek's Command, that could be okay, because next turn I can grab Black Lotus off of the Saga and then still Hullbreacher plus Wheel. And we drew a 4, so I can actually protect my Hullbreacher now from a Kozilek's Command. We'll grab Black Lotus, fetch, grab Underground Sea, play Hullbreacher, Wheel of Fortune. Oh, it just resolves? Okay, and the opponent concedes. So we went 3 and 2. Hunter, I would like to first say thank you once again for supporting the channel. I do appreciate it. Alright, thoughts on the deck. It feels a little clunky, which is what I felt like last year when I was testing for Eternal Weekend. I did test the Breach deck and I decided that I didn't like it. At least these larger builds. They're fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with them, but I prefer builds that are a little lower to the ground. This is a list that I was testing with at the time. It had Hullbreachers, your Aluris of the Dream Den deck. I was playing a few copies of Lorien Revealed. Ultimately, I didn't love this build either. That's why I didn't play it, and I ended up playing Doomsday. But in general, I feel like these decks are... There's just... I like the smoothness of Doomsday. Being able to Xerox or Turbo through your deck with cantrips feels really nice. And I don't have that same feeling when it comes to playing these larger builds that have Wheel of Fortune and Dak Faden and, you know, a million Hullbreachers. So that's my own personal opinion. I know Hullbreacher is very good against Jewel Shops, which is a matchup we ended up losing. And I got blown out by Tailing Gates, which I don't know if that's the norm or not, but I was surprised by it. Admittedly, I could have played better against the Sultai control opponent. I don't know if me playing it better would have mattered, but it could have, and I should have played better. So I do apologize for that, but the deck is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with this, but I do prefer Doomsday, at least right now. That's all I've got for today. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, keep storming. What you should do is like, comment, and subscribe because there's no better way to support us. And if you enjoyed this video, head over to moxfield.com and follow us there. It's truly the best deck website on the internet. We update all of our decks there regularly with the latest and greatest technology, so you're always up to date. Once again, go check out Moxfield, and thank you for watching.